in the Foundries.io booth at Embedded World. I'm here with Ian Drew, an old friend of mine. You said something about you guys are going to change the world. What does that mean?
If you look at the way that various industries have gone over the last few decades, the PC industry took off because it moved from a customized chip and a customized software into Intel and Microsoft going horizontal. Now, that was really the first instance of that. But then you look at the phone industry, the mobile phone industry, where I came from at ARM. And when I joined ARM, it was Nokia and Motorola, and everybody did their own verticals. And to be honest about it, it was very inefficient. It was bad for the consumer. You used to have to play Pong and Snake at an airport because that was all there was. No internet connection, there was no apps, there was no interchangeability. And so what happened then was Android came out. And Android made a horizontal play. And that enabled apps developers to develop apps. It made sure that the phone chip guys had a standard operating system they could build to. And it allowed the industry not to redo all the mistakes everybody else did, but invest in areas that really added value. That hasn't happened in IoT. Everybody is still in this vertical silo. You look at the cloud guys and they go, oh, but I'll support Raspberry Pi and leave the OEMs to go do the rest of it themselves. There is no horizontal operating system that takes all of that security knowledge across multiple architectures. And so when we set up Foundries, that was the premise of the company. It was multi-architecture, design once, allow application developers and OEMs to really drive their own strategy going forward, and not to be locked into vertical silos where you kind of have to do lots of difficult things that replicate other people doing difficult things as well. It becomes proprietary.
But does that stop differentiation?
It allows more differentiation.
How was that?
It allows you to customize your whole hardware. The way we've developed the software and Foundries, it's fully customizable to every piece of hardware. As long as there's a Linux driver, we go from vacuum cleaners to shipping containers to home gateways to motorbikes and a whole plethora of other things that are customizable really from a base level Linux that's very small. And so you're allowed then to put your own apps in place, you can put your own security in place, you can choose where your data goes. It's a lot more customizable than what you're currently doing. And it's also allows 10, 20, 30 years of support because all the DevOps tools then are put in a cloud.
But Linux isn't new. It's been around for 20-ish years. Why all of a sudden is this something different than what we've had before?
It's a fairly simple problem to talk about. It's really hard to go fix. In a phone industry, when I was working on Android, probably 6 SoC vendors, 2 or 3 chips each, maybe 18 chips you had to support. The configurations weren't that different. It was bigger screen sizes or different radios. You look around here and there is hundreds of thousands of different configurations. So we had to take the tools that we had in phones and adapt them not to have 6 or 8 different varieties, but 100,000 different varieties. And you had to put this into the cloud because everybody was doing IoT development on their desk. Now we put it in the cloud, you're able to have team sharing around the world, you're able to have fleets managed much better. It's taken a while to do this, and the IoT industry's been slow. They are the last ones to adopt Linux. They're the last ones to look at real security issues. It's really hard.
And I assume you're processor agnostic?
Yep. Totally agnostic to anything the OEM really wants. What we say is we want the OEM to have the power to choose everything from the boot level all the way through to where they put their engineers at the higher end stacks. This is about giving the OEMs control.
Good deal. Come on over to the foundries.io booth and check it out for yourself.